Hey guys, and welcome back to another CineFix Roundtable. This week we have some very special guests with us. We have Aaron Kelly and Josh Cantor from MoviePilot.com. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Here, here. Small bit of applause for you. So this week, Aaron and Josh brought with them a number of topics for us to discuss. So, diving right in, what did you guys bring with?
So,
I thought you brought them topics with you, boy. You got them on your fancy computer, don't you?
I
weather.
thought you were going to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, Mrs. Doubtfire is making a sequel 21 years later.
This is true. I think, here's the secret for you guys. I think the average age of readership of Movie Pilot don't remember Mrs. Doubtfire the first time. That's how unexcited they are about Mrs. Doubtfire.
Because they're so old or they're so
And
young.
the only relation they have to Robin Williams is that he played the genie.
So they're not exhausted with Robin Williams.
So they're not watching his sitcom on.
That doesn't exist.
So they got to miss like Centennial Man and all that stuff.
Would they be more excited to know about him if they knew he had a pig aorta?
Really?
Oh, they gave him a pig.
My grandmother has that.
Would they be more excited if they knew that he was? What was that movie where he was like a children's clown? Patch Adams.
Okay, real quick, Patch Adams. He was a man of medicine. Patch Adams, all right.
I have no
And
idea
he
what
wore
you're
a
talking
clown
about.
nose. It was a
That
very.
was the saddest movie ever. I love that.
Because it was made.
No.
That's like 15, 16 years old.
Really, nobody here is going to shit on Jack?
This is like.
Jack was great too.
Jack
Jack was not great.
Jack was not
And
great.
I'm this close to making you leave the room. Don't even put Jack in there with Mrs. Doubtfire.
I feel like Jack did this awkward left turn about two-thirds of the way through where suddenly it was a sad, heartwarming movie. If you do a
J-Lo's in
Mrs. Doubtfire 2, it will do the exact same thing to the first Mrs. Doubtfire. The first Mrs. Doubtfire was a fun romp with a dude dressed like a lady. If you try to go back to that, you'll just take away the whole happy ending and you'll just be like, what kind of zany hijinks can we do? Oh, let's throw a gender identity thing in there maybe. I don't know, but I
feel
don't
like
see
it's
the
going to
value
be
of
very
revisiting
creepy.
that.
Robin Williams is already getting creepier as he gets older. And this movie, if you think about it, somehow you got away with this kind of stuff in the 90s.
It's kind of like The Dark Knight. Like, you know, he's like, I'm going to be Doubtfire again. he has to go and get that costume
Not the nanny you deserve.
out of the closet, put it back on. His kids are in college. I'm back!
That's the thing too. Like they already know who he is, but maybe he'll do like other costumes. I mean, because he has a million voices, so maybe they'll introduce other characters because we already.
Well,
know
he
him
got a
in the first
Mrs. Doubtfire got a TV show at
Exactly.
the end of the last one. So maybe now she's canceled because people found out she was really a man, and it gets real. And then she starts. Maybe she starts like Mrs. Doubtfire's Drag Race, and that's. That's what it's all
I get
about.
sued
really
by
creepy
GLAAD because I can't think of anything more defamation-y than
Defamation.
So the verdict we have on Mrs. Doubtfire 2 is one, people won't care that much.
That's not true.
Probably.
I just don't know how they're going to make it relevant for a new generation of young people.
It's like
We
need to
it
introduce-
was great back then. Like it came out right around when I was born, but I still remember this movie that I watched while I was a kid.
Yeah, I
Dating
mean,
yourself.
And I enjoyed it, but I don't know how for the next generation of kids.
Especially like as a sequel. Like if they were going to go through and like reboot it, I would be like, but I would at least understand that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like Medea. Like we've got so many of these now. It's not really
Yeah,
a new
But it's
concept.
not Medea because Tyler Perry. Medea is Medea. Medea is not Tyler Perry dressed as Medea. Medea is she is in real life, but in the movie.
I was like, I think you're wrong.
No,
I was just going to save that conversation for after the roundtable.
She is, but in the movie she's not. Like in the movie she's not Tyler Perry dressed as Medea. In the movie she's just Medea. Mrs. Doubtfire is Robin Williams' character dressed like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Thank God we cleared that up.
It's
So
more
it's
Big
super
Mama's
creepy.
house than it is.
It's more Big Mama's house. And there was a sequel to that. So
Yeah, there's more than one.
that's how it works.
Listen, and guess what? When Dad dresses as a lady to hang out with his kids, it's a funny premise. When Grandpa dresses up as a lady, he's going to jail.
That's what clearly left a lot of ground to cover because now we need a sequel. The good news is the guy who wrote Elf is doing it,
David
and I think we can all be
didn't-
happy about that because Elf was great.
And you-
To get into our next topic,
Concur.
which is more potential additions to the Batman versus Superman, which is still technically Man of Steel 2.
Justice League.
It's still technically Man of Steel 2. But everybody's calling it Batman versus Superman.
Right, Batman vs Superman with Ben Affleck potentially playing Batman, but maybe just playing Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
So the new theories are, it was a leak, then it wasn't a leak, then it was a theory, then it wasn't a theory, that he is playing a retired Bruce Wayne, who is older, who hasn't put on the suit in a long time.
So it doesn't fit very well.
And he basically just runs his whole Wayne Enterprises, and stuff's going down, and Superman needs his help, and the big crescendo of the end of the movie, which will be pretty disappointing, will be that he puts the suit on. And I think Ben Affleck plays a pretty good retired.
Well, he's good. We know.
Gravelly.
Yeah, old gravelly sort of like.
And he's
back on the
He's
suit.
good at playing a boring guy, so that's what he basically do.
So it could be very disappointing. It might be this whole Batman versus Superman thing could build up to Batman putting on the suit in the last 20 minutes.
That's the weird thing about it, because that sounds like a really cool way to kind of
Right.
go about a Superman sequel and like, you know, build out the world a little bit. But like, you know, after what will have been close to 3 years worth of like, oh, Batman versus Superman,
Yeah.
maybe
Right,
Justice
right.
League, and then to not
It's
have Batman
misleading.
in it at all, like everybody's just gonna go out of the theater, turning tables
So
upside
the
down.
the reason that Batman versus Superman is a thing is because when they announced it at Comic-Con, they made a really big deal about like using the quote from when Batman actually fought Superman in the comics.
And they got the logos on top of each other.
Logos on top of each other. They made it. They set it up. They set up the expectation for all the fanboys that this was going to be, no matter what the else happens in this movie, this is going to be the moment where we get to see Batman and Superman fight each other on screen.
The thing is that Lex Luthor might be the guy that has to call Wayne Enterprises for help. And Metropolis is destroyed, and then he Wayne
that's
Enterprises
true.
to come and help restore order in the city. So Batman has to come and restore order in the city and fight Superman. So it could be a fight. The question is it the last scene? But if it's anything like Man of Steel, they'll drag out the last scene for a good.
Oh yeah, it'll be a 35-minute fight out
So
of
you
it.
might get a good fight. You just might not get Ben Affleck in a suit. Until
What if Ben Affleck as Bruce
I can tell you're
Wayne?
about to do a joke already.
Yeah. I got one.
How dare you? How dare you to step on my joke like that?
Wait, say it.
No,
It's
it's
gonna be
true.
great.
I can't do it now. Not after that.
He's
He
just
poked a
jealous.
hole
I
in
think that was
it.
going to be his
Jealous.
best joke.
It was. I've been working on that one all
He's
week.
been leaning back, just drawing it up on the iPad, and then he's
Yes,
like,
yes. I see it now. Yes, I've got it. Yeah. No, I mean, what I can't do it now. I can't do it. No, I can't because there's no joke
Push
now.
the tomato.
Well, Zack Snyder actually gave an interview. I don't remember who it was, but or to whom it was.
That was absolutely not correct.
But he was talking about like where do you go from Superman essentially fighting one of his own, like fighting Zod on essentially our turf, and like he was kind of pushing for Superman to fight Batman from sort of the beginning of that process.
But it is. I mean, look at the first movie. It's so over the top. It's just like we're bashing the out of each other, and these guys who are invincible anyway, so you know they can't hurt each other, and they're fighting for 35 minutes. How do you get Batman anywhere close to that?
Maybe Batman wears a kryptonite suit.
I mean,
that's what he had. That's what he does in the comics.
I would love to see sort of an inverse, and it'd be like a much more intimate sort of fight scene.
Like candles and wine.
Just like they're
A
both
bubble
fighting in the
bath
bathtub.
and some little
Just like
like,
some real Greco-Roman wrestling kind of stuff.
I'm just talking about like oils and a good out in the open, you know?
Straight to the loincloth.
I want like a Rocky montage scene. Ben Affleck goes from chubby Ben Affleck to like muscly Ben Affleck in the space of like 3 minutes, and then they fight for 45 minutes.
I mean, that's it. That's the whole.
And then they lead into the sequel.
Well, but now and then Robin's in there, like refereeing, like he's reffing.
So the thing that we saw that could be completely, tosh, was that there was a theory out there that retired Batman has a league of juniors keeping order in Gotham, and in there could be like a Robin and there could be like a Batgirl, who are these younger guys who he's trained up. So he's now this like retired overseer.
Well, the way that they're going and the way that they're adding characters to this movie, like it wouldn't surprise me if literally every Robin that has ever been is part of his little bat team.
Right.
So there's Dick Grayson and there's Tim Drake and like all of them are in little bat suits.
You can't have all the Robins are totally gonna fight. If you get them together, they're gonna argue.
Well, not if OG Robin is already Nightwing and he's like the warden of the Robins.
He's got his weird stick.
This is like Orange is the New Black, but all Robin.
All Robins. I would watch the out of that.
Too many Robins coming to CBS.
Too many Robins. Now we're talking.
But if they go, mean, if they won't, but if they put Gordon Levitt in there, if they put just Gordon Levitt in there as Nightwing, then they have like, I mean, it's DC, right? And look at what Marvel are doing with all these spin-offs, and they're like just running on, you know, if you put Joseph Gordon-Levitt in there, you only have to intro him in the film to then introduce a Nightwing.
That would be awesome.
I
I'm
feel
totally
like
fine with
Technically, they would have just recast Nolan's Bruce Wayne, because at the end of,
Right.
of
Yeah.
Dark Knight
But
Rises,
Nolan's never going to touch Batman again, so he's done, and then it passes over, and then
This premise sounds very much like the end of the Dark Knight Returns comic anyway, where he retires but still oversees
Right.
the younger generation of crime fighters, but with the probably not the Carrie Kelly Robin, unless it's the Carrie Kelly Robin, in which case Gordon Levitt definitely does not want to play that.
It'll be Emma Stone.
you're not going to squeeze. I mean, you can't squeeze that many Batman movies out of Ben Affleck because he's just too old and he's not that relevant. So either you're going to.
Because eventually you're literally squeezing movies out of it. Just like
I don't think you're going to squeeze a trilogy out of him. So either you're going to like just run with like Henry Cavill and do that for a while, or you're going to introduce a new, younger Nightwing, Joseph Gordon-Levitt character.
if they would reduce Bruce Wayne to sort of like a Nick Fury kind of role in,
Right.
in
That's what
like
I'm
a
saying.
bigger
It'd be awesome.
Gotham universe,
Yeah.
that would be
Awesome.
pretty cool.
That's cool.
I know maybe I'm the only person who
Right.
thinks this, but Jesus Christ, is every movie going to be a superhero movie? Like, so many different iterations. and
Short
it's-
answer is yes.
Yeah.
The longer answer is like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
But so, since you're so thrilled with superhero movies, staying in the superhero world for a little bit longer, yet another ham-fisted segue. We wanted to talk a bit about Spider-Mensch, right?
That's not where I thought you were going, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's right here.
Right, so Andrew Garfield comes out and says that he thinks Spider-Man is Jewish, and not only that, he thinks that it's possible that the whole Spider-Man story is an allegory of post-war Judaism in America.
Post World War II?
Okay, if you say so.
Like post Holocaust Judaism?
Yeah, in America.
Yeah, what's
Do you want the quote?
Because of the
Yeah.
It's actually really
Yeah,
interesting.
I quote, Spider-Man is neurotic. Peter Parker is not a simple dude. He can't just switch off. He never feels like he's doing enough. Peter suffers from self-doubt. He ums and ahs about his future because he's neurotic. He's Jewish. It's a defining feature. I hope Jewish people don't mind the cliche because my father's Jewish. I have that in me for sure. He's an overthinker. It'd be much easier if he was a life-saving robot. Goes on. Some Spidey scholars, I love Spidey scholars. Some Spidey scholars believe the story is an allegory for post-war Judaism in America. An orphan, as many Jewish children were, and as a result of Nazi atrocities, Parker is a good, smart boy who lives with his aunt and uncle in Forest Hill, Queens, home to one of the largest Jewish communities in New York. The angst-ridden Parker fights evil by adopting an alter ego. Some Jews choose to submerge their identities to avoid future persecution, and often uses native wit whilst outsmarting his enemies, speaking lines of dialogue close to Yiddish shtick.
And it's also well known that Jewish people actually can shoot webs out of there. Yeah. So that's it. That's it.
This is where he pushes. I mean, he's already.
Up to now, I'm on board.
And that's when everyone's like, okay, this guy's maybe going somewhere. And then he says he's misunderstood like Jesus.
Yep, there it is.
I don't mind the Jesus parallel for Spider-Man. Jesus is an awesome guy. When Pontius Pilate said, they say you're the Son of God. If you're the Son of God, tell me. Jesus was like, I know who I am, bitch. And then he walks away. That's it.
Yeah.
You dropped the
John
microphone.
3:26.
Wow.
I know who I am, bitch.
Andrew Garfield has spoken.
Let's call this meeting of Spidey scholars. Order.
I mean, doesn't this always come down to like the actor wants to think that the role is bigger and means more than it actually is?
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, I do like him as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like, I think the movie was and the second one doesn't. It looks like at best it's going to be the same kind of as the first one. But I did think he was a good Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So if this is what he's got to have in the back of his head while he's doing it, it's fine.
I mean, I like that he brought the like snark back to Spider-Man because
that Jewish snark.
that neurotic Jewish snark back to Spider-Man because I thought that was really lacking. And Tobey Maguire was. I love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, the first two, but he's a little too mopey. And I like the wittiness of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. That being said, the Jew and the neurotic and the Yiddish and the Jesus, he lost me at Jesus. He fully lost me at Jesus.
That's how I get into characters. I just think Jesus is an awesome guy. Yeah, okay,
I
I'm
like
ready
the
to
idea that the studio were giving him a little back massage and like, do you know what we really need? a little bit of religious controversy.
That is a great place to move on to our next topic, which is some Johnny Depp news. We were just talking about Johnny Depp yesterday, actually, and how not wonderful Transcendence was.
I'll give you my review of Transcendence in 1 second.
So Johnny Depp is going to be in Kevin Smith's new movie.
Yeah. So I have a theory about this.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot it out there, and you can all shoot me down.
Great.
So we read this like interesting piece of news about a couple of years ago now, maybe when it was last year sometime, about how the Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis divorce, and how she, this is quite rich, but she was the one pushing for the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. That she was pushing Johnny Depp to go more mainstream and to really come out in front. So obviously he's had a pretty, I think he's had a good run in box office terms, but he's had a pretty bad run in being the cool Johnny Depp he once was. So I wonder if he's gone straight to Kevin Smith and is sort of like, just let's do something wacky. Tusk is about the wackiest idea coming out that you could pin Johnny Depp to, and it's a last-ditch attempt to be cool once again.
So Tusk is about.
That makes it even sadder.
It makes it worse.
I didn't understand it right. Tusk is about a guy who invites a roommate to stay with him free of charge
True
so
story.
long as he dresses up like a walrus.
Based on a true story.
Okay.
So the story was there was a post found on the internet on a sort of Craigslist-like site where a guy had said you can have a free room in my house. All you have to do is dress up as a walrus for an hour a week. And you have
That's
to
it?
answer,
Just an hour a
you
week?
have to something like that. You have to answer as a walrus.
I dress up like a walrus on the regular.
I volunteer.
The Kevin Smith takes the story and puts a dark twist turn and locks the walrus in the basement. They add tusks to his face. And
They actually like surgically turn him into a
it goes
walrus.
dark.
Wait, that happened in real life?
No.
In real life, he just dressed up like a walrus for a couple weeks.
Real
Right.
life.
So it's like Centipede.
Yes.
It's like
yes,
a more
yes.
a
It's a human centipede play, yeah. Someone goes up to the basement and they start attaching tusks and they turn this guy into a walrus and Johnny Depp is the evil mastermind.
Huh.
And
I
if it
want
turns out to be
Johnny-
like an indie horror sensation,
Yeah.
then Johnny Depp
But it's
reigns
again.
supreme
It's gonna have
again,
like
is the cool guy, and we forget about
Is this cool?
Alice in Wonderland.
I thought we were done with him. Didn't he retire? Something like that?
No, he didn't.
He
retire.
keeps saying
He keeps saying he's like, no, I'm done making movies,
He has
and
a
then he made
podcast.
Red
He
He kept
State.
saying he's said a lot in the last couple of years about how he's really wanted to not like branch out and not be like Kevin Smith. Even though the Kevin Smith movies are the best Kevin Smith movies, and everything in the not Kevin Smith movies are kind of crappy.
Yes.
That's been a lot of like, and I get it from a personal like I want to do something different standpoint. And so if it's Kevin Smith wanting to continue to do something different
Exactly.
and Johnny Depp wanting to do
Exactly.
something different, I feel like they'll end up doing something crappy that's the same.
It sounds like an intersection of bad ideas on everybody's.
Yeah, but I applaud that intersection. I mean, I'll stand there and watch the cars crash because good for them for driving.
Well, and I'd rather they do that. Like, even if it ends up being an absolute train wreck, I'm more interested in seeing them do that than in watching Pirates 5, right? Like Kevin Smith directs Pirates of the Caribbean, The Space Journey. Not as interesting to me as Tusk. Tusk is just inherently more
Kevin Smith's
interesting.
like, they get a beer and he's like, John, I just can't do it anymore. And then Johnny's like, Burton just keeps putting me in the same makeup. Let's do something weird. And
Swear to Christ, if I'm
Different
pale in
makeup,
one
yeah.
more movie.
But that was what I was excited. I was excited about Transcendence because I thought that it was going to be all right. Johnny Depp got a divorce. He doesn't have to be mainstream anymore. This is him going back to like intellectual, smart, interesting roles. And I think he forgot how to do it.
No, he just needs to like play a person. Watching
actually.
Johnny Depp play like a soccer
Right,
dad,
but
and not like
here's-
a soccer dad that he's got a crow that talks to, and not a soccer dad who has like some sort of time engine hidden in his basement, and not a soccer dad who can like fly and shoot fire out of his face, like just normal soccer dad, like so middle of the road.
He
Just
had
play a human.
He had the chance for the first super sped up 20 minutes of Transcendence to play a normal
And
human.
then he plays a computer.
So you want him in draft day, basically? You just want him
Yes.
Or what's
Johnny Depp in draft day.
I want Johnny Depp in
Let's get him
it.
back to like where he used to be. Like he used to be a great sort of like indie
He
actor.
gets a rough deal on Gilbert Grape because no one talks about him in that movie. Everyone talks about it.
Right.
Yeah. We think Johnny Depp's career is done. Nothing interesting left in him.
Oh God.
I'll be surprised
That's a
when there
blanket
is
statement.
something
Well,
interesting.
yeah.
I mean, because it's been 15 years
It's
now.
been a long time.
It's been
That's the
15
point.
years now
People
since
forget
Fire.
how long it's been since he made something that was genuinely like.
I don't want it to be dead.
No.
I want him to have this big, like, like Matthew McConaissance. I want him to have a Johnny Depp-assance.
Michael, we all want that.
Yeah.
We all want that for everyone.
I just don't.
No,
I just
I
don't
don't
think
want
Johnny
it for
Depp
everyone.
wants that. Well, here's another excellent segue for everybody. Speaking of things that are coming back, Heroes Reborn is our next topic.
Mackenzie is
Mackenzie's excited about it,
There's
so
gonna be a web series.
so I'm gonna scoot back and let her go.
I don't really have anything to say, but there's gonna be a web series potentially with some of the old characters. And what's her name has gotten much better on Nashville, so I'm excited for her to come back.
Hayden Panettiere
Yeah,
is
I
more
can't
than just
handle-
a what's her name.
She's so good. She's
Okay.
always been really good.
So there's a lot of speculation about how this web series will fit into the Heroes Reborn on
it's gonna just tie
NBC.
everything up.
No, see, I think the best thing they can do with this web series is come up with a convincing way to make it so that the last 3 seasons of the original run just never happened.
Yeah.
I think they
But
need
the first
to
season was
excellent
so
Days of
good.
Future
Yes, the
Past.
best thing they could do with this web series is get it back to the way everybody was at the end of the first season. No weird twins from Guatemala or whatever they were.
That's the thing, they just got too many superpowers. It just became too big of a
many
If
universe.
everyone's
superpowers.
special, then no one
Exactly.
is.
Right.
One of my friends is rewatching it or watching it because they never watched it in the first place, and they like season 1 of Heroes. And I was watching it, and I was like, "What was the blonde woman's name?" No, the older
Allie Larder.
Allie Larder's character. Her power in season 1 is that she has an evil twin in the mirror. Like what? It was a terrible.
Yeah,
power. It's like a conceptually retarded idea.
I read somewhere that her original superpower was that, like a mom, she could be in 2 places at once, and I'm like, why the didn't they go with that?
That's dumb, and it's still better than whatever they did. And let's not forget that Heroes had web series, right? In terms of getting excited about like Heroes having a show and a web series, Heroes was like Smallville, one of the forerunners in actually having really cool integrated multi-platform storytelling. Too bad it all sucked.
I don't understand what they're doing with the web series. I mean, it has to be something like either it's going to lead straight from the original series into the new one, or it's going to just hit a big reset button. It's interesting to me
Reset
that they're
button.
doing it on the web, though. If it's really that important for the new franchise, like do it in episode 1. Or
They've never been good at the web TV crossover. Other people have, but they haven't. And so it makes me think that it's going to be this like disjointed, almost unnecessary lead up.
Or a lead down. I think it might be closure.
Right.
That's why it's on the web. Keep the fans happy with it. Everyone's like pissed about the way it ended. Keep them happy with this little cheap web series, and then everyone can start again on the new series.
I guess anybody who cares enough to be pissed off about the new one is going to be on the internet anyway.
Right. They're
So
gonna,
they'll know where to find
He's
it.
talking to you, internet.
They can watch the web series. They can find closure, and then we can all start Reborn in a completely new light.
Exactly. All right, well, one last thing. There's no segue here. One last thing that we want to talk about, just because we've never really discussed horror movies on this channel. Like, outside of, we haven't done anything with it since like the Monster Madness stuff that we did. But Eli Roth's got an interesting new trailer out for his next movie called Green Inferno.
It's interesting. The name was actually the original script, the original title on the script for Cannibal Holocaust. And the director of Cannibal Holocaust did a cameo in Hostel 2. So it could end up being just sort of a remake of Cannibal Holocaust in its own sort of weird way.
Banned in 40 countries or something crazy like
Yeah,
that.
that's
That
what-
was a very controversial movie.
Yeah.
They killed animals on screen in that movie. It was
Really?
twisted, yeah.
I'm suddenly really excited.
No, it's got a really interesting
Twisted
history.
cold film, that movie. All I know is there's going to be a lot of dismemberment and eyeballs in this movie.
Okay, so
Kinda throwback
what
to
else is
Hostel.
coming out that weekend that I can see without my boyfriend?
Well,
as my
the-
boyfriend sees.
So it's gore porn. It's full on.
I mean,
gore.
it's Eli Roth.
Yeah, the guy's
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually more interested in The Sacrament, which he's producing, which is sort of about the Vice documentary crew that's going down, and it ends up sort of, they get wrapped up in a cult as it starts to unravel.
He did shoot this movie in Peru or something, right? Didn't they go find, because there's
somewhere where they could kill babies.
somewhere where they could dismember things in the
Allegedly,
jungle.
they shot with a tribe that had never been on screen before, or filmed before.
And now introducing
It's an
Peruvians.
ethnographic
That's
film.
not hard. I mean, there's a difference between like a tribe that's never been filmed before and a tribe that like hasn't met modern life. Like they make it sound like we found a tribe in the Amazon.
The tribe
that
has just been going on auditions
Yes,
and hasn't been able
they
to
thought we were gods. They
here's our
thought we were
headshot.
gods.
That's all of us. That's Steve back there. This is Howard. We're the tribe. We've never really done anything, so our resume's a little light.
We can go some piercings. We can go all piercings. We've all got ink.
I'll tell you something.
You seem
I
excited
love all
about
that
it.
stuff.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Big Eli Roth fan?
Well, just anything where there's just blood and guts, it's fun. It doesn't nauseate me. It's exciting. I don't know.
Cool.
I like Eli Roth. I like Hostel. That eyeball scene was a little intense, but
See, those are the things
fun.
that I
It kind of pushes your limits. You kind of figure out how far you can go with all the crazy stuff you can put on screen and get away with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you seen this upper footage movie?
No.
Just came out online 3 weeks ago. Like it's the one that the Tarantino movie he bought and then sold. You see it? No.
No.
So this is the movie, super controversial, or is it? That is or isn't real. And it was the found footage movie of a girl overdosing and dying in New York. This footage gets found of this girl at a party and she takes too much cocaine, she overdoses and dies. No one knew if it was real, was it set up? And Tarantino apparently bought the rights for the film and then he sold it because he didn't want to make it. And it just came up 3 weeks ago, and you can watch it online.
Wait, so someone made it, or someone just cut it together?
Someone cut it together and put it into like a sort of documentary / movie, but no one knows if it's real or not.
That's hard in this day of age.
Yeah.
People are raving about it, but you can watch it. It's on like Vimeo, like VOD, so you can watch it there. And people are saying it's. We have one guy who said it was the best horror movie of the decade.
That's really fascinating that what could potentially be a real person overdosing on cocaine is considered the best horror movie.
Right,
Like, that's really interesting about thinking about like the state of horror films in general and like what scares us in theaters and things like that. And
Totally,
then
so
something like this comes
They're
along.
calling it like a postmodern Blair Witch. It's like a Blair
Interesting.
Witch for like now.
It's
And-
terrifying because it feels like we're heading down this like dark Caprica road
Right.
of like we're all gonna like go into a virtual reality where we can kill people and then those people end up really dead. And,
We're
like,
so close to the Running Man. So close.
and we're getting real. We're gonna get real Hunger Games.
Yeah. You're way too excited about it. Now the crew's got excited about killing teens. Let's call this a roundtable. Thanks for watching, everybody. Come back next time for more movie news on CineFix Now. Let us know what you think of all this stuff down in the comments below. And thank you again, guys, from MoviePilot.com for coming by. Thank you for the topics. See everybody. See you guys later. You guys want to keep hanging out, or
I don't know. I'm
let's
done.
get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.